How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV. It's the warm-up for Villarreal, our cup final, this Thursday, Europa League semi-final. You know, this competition is all we've got left this season. I'm back again with James and Cecil as always. How's it going, lads?
Yeah, it's good. How are you? Good?
I'm so bored of the whole, it's another cup final. You're right.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but like, what has this season become?
It's been cup finals since February.
Yeah. We've got through 6 cup finals to get to this.
Yeah, imagine. And we're still not at the cup final.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're not in that cup final.
Imagine.
Just about as well. Blimey.
3 left, hopefully.
Yeah, 3 left. 2 free wins away from a potential trophy, potential Champions League football, potential Champions League money.
Yeah.
What's the overall thoughts? Let's start with you, James. Overall thoughts leading up to the game.
We know this season's been a complete disaster. We know that it's now marred in this whole Kroenke out thing. We know Daniel Ek now is clearly trying very hard to take over the club. There's all these other things going on, but ultimately, all focus on the Europa League, win that, get through, and kind of everything else. I wouldn't say it gets forgiven. Like you shouldn't forget the other things, but you can almost come away from it and still say like, it's been a good season. And that sounds crazy. Like, if we win the Europa League, we get into the Champions League, I really don't care if we finish 13th or 14th. I will when I come back to analysing the season, what we need, where we need to invest, how I judge Arteta, yeah. But on like a very surface level, did you have a good year? I'll be like, yeah, we had a good year. We're on the Europa League and we're in Champions League next season.
Do you not worry, do you not worry that if we do win the Europa League against Champions League, it's going to be harder for the club to be sold by the Kroenkes because of that? Not saying I wouldn't want us to win the Europa League, because I do, but that would, that would make things
potentially.
Yeah, because he'll be like, oh, it's a success. They're a success. Arsenal is successful.
Very little investment back into Champions League. Let's see how the next season goes. I can see that being their,
that'd be their narrative, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I get what James is saying. I mean, we discussed Arteta a few weeks ago, and I said, listen, right now we're very critical of Arteta. We're very critical of the team. But then, if the end of the season comes, and in the 18 months or so he's been in charge, we've won an FA Cup and the Europa League, I won't put the table aside, because I believe the Premier League table tells you exactly where you are, regardless of trophies domestically or, you know, cup competitions like the Europa League. But on surface level, like you said, you know, an FA Cup, Europa League, Champions League football, I think in your first year and a half, any manager would take that. Any owner would probably take that.
Yeah.
I'm worried though for this game on Thursday. We haven't actually beaten Villarreal away at all. We've drawn against them twice, and they've got a good outfit going forward. They've got some players that we're going to speak about later that we should really be worried about.
Worth having a little look at Villarreal, because obviously led by Mr. Unai himself. Yeah, I won't touch too much on him, but he did become a little bit of a laughing stock in the Arsenal fan base and also in the media. And I think you were very quick to sort of defend actually him as a coach, and rightly so. And I back that as well. You know, he's achieved a lot in the game. He's no joke of a manager. It just got a bit laughable, not just him, but the whole situation at Arsenal. When you look at his stats in La Liga this season, this is his first season as manager of Villarreal. 12 wins and 13 draws. That's very Emery, to draw more games than you're winning, especially what we saw in kind of that period that got him sacked at Arsenal. That doesn't surprise me. You know, they've scored more than they've conceded, but like barely, and they're lounging around in 7th. I don't know what Villarreal's expectations were or would have been, but he's hardly pulling up trees. I think he's doing fine, is kind of the impression. When you look at his Europa League run, and let's face it, he's won 3 in a row with Sevilla. He beat Liverpool in the final. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in the final a couple of years back. He's done very well, as you can see. He's basically won all his 2-legged ties en route to the semi-final. Beating some good teams in there, Salzburg, Zagreb, who knocked out Spurs. Scored 28 goals, only conceded the 7, and he's won 11 games. There's a draw in there, but he's not lost a single game on this run. That's very, very impressive. So clearly he knows what to do in this competition. And actually, in Arsenal's run to the final, Baku, and we know Baku was a disaster, but I felt people were very quick to discredit the season and the run up to that point. You know, he beat Valencia, he beat Napoli. I can't remember who he beat earlier in the round, but he beat some good sides to get to where we were. That, I think, went a little bit under the radar. And I've looked at their last 5 games, and I don't want to call it chaos football, so I want to call it punch for punch football.
I was just reading that thinking, this is odd.
This is kind of what Emery did in kind of the latter months at Arsenal, and what we've been seeing a bit more recently from Villarreal. I don't watch a lot of Villarreal this is a numbers game here for me, but it's very kind of, it really resonates with me. The best stat here is that the possession average is 59%. They have a lot of the ball. They played Barcelona in the last 5 as well. So that's still quite impressive that they've come out with such a high average in the other games. But I think what's so funny is they had 61 shots, so they've conceded 56.
Yeah.
You know, and that was what we were used to in that kind of bad, chaotic run at Arsenal.
Yeah.
We shoot, you shoot, we shoot, you shoot. Getting outshot by Southampton, Watford.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who else in that dreadful run.
During that period, at the start of his second season, it was more or less every team that was getting the better.
Burnley peppered us at the Emirates.
Yeah.
He's averaging 12.2 shots per game and conceding 11.2 shots per game in the last 5. And the form, you know, for a team with 59%, conceding that many shots on average, losing 3 of your last 5, that's kind of the Emery I remember. Yeah. And look, he did some good, and I'm not trying to discredit him as a manager, but what I'm basically saying is you look at the numbers, Arsenal should have a go, because the way Emery sets his teams up, it's very open. For someone who's meant to be quite a pragmatic manager, you know, they do concede shots, and we can have a go at them.
I think all this bodes well for us.
I think so.
I look at where Arsenal have slipped up in the past, and you know, the traditional low blocks, and you know, the 10 men behind the ball and all that. What this tells us is, you know, Emery's going to come out, have a go, be open, and like punch for punch. And I think Arsenal stand the best chance when it is punch for punch. I'm not saying we stand the greatest chance, but we stand a better chance when it's
I agree.
I think so too.
I agree with that. For the players that we have, especially after hearing some of the news of some being available, I think you're right, punch for punch, we have the quality to really outdo them. But talking about quality, they also possess, in my opinion, a striker that's been on incredible form in Monroe. He's got 20 goals and 5 assists.
Gerard Moreno.
I always butcher the names.
Butchered the whole name. He turned him into, I don't even know where Monroe's from, an American name or something like that.
Do you know what, I saw Gerard as well, and I was like, am I going to pronounce this wrong? I need to get James to make sure.
Gerard Monroe, people. Look out for him.
Gerard Monroe. Sorry, James, thank you. And I was going to speak about another danger man as well. The Chucks man. What's the Chucks?
Don't say Chucks man. So basically, it's Monroe and Chucks man. They're the danger men this Thursday. If you don't see them in the lineup, then listen, message Cecil. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think.
I tried to carry on so calmly as well. When I could feel you looking at me, I was like, I've said it wrong.
You paused when...
You know when he said Monroe, I said to myself, all right, so they got Moreno. I haven't heard about Monroe. Like, have I done my due diligence coming up to this warm-up?
Okay, listen, when it comes to names, I'm not great at them.
I was going to let it slide, and then James goes, oh, hold on. I thought, shit, I missed the Monroe out.
Me and Robbie have this in common, we're not good with names. All right, cool. So Moreno, let's just get back to it. 20 goals this season, 5 assists. He's in good company as well in La Liga in the sense of top scorers. Lionel Messi's obviously first 25 goals, he's second, joint with Benzema. So
is that 20 all in the league?
In the league, yeah. That's mad numbers, isn't it? That's mad numbers. Someone to be very aware of, Mr. Monroe.
Trust me, man, like Monroe.
But and then the other verse I wanted to highlight as well, which I'm going to go into more depth, guys, on the build-up show, which I always do, is Chuck So Wavy. I know that's what you've
named him. Chuck So Wavy.
Chuck So Wavy for me. He's very direct. A winger, right winger, who, in my opinion, if any of you got Xhaka in that left-back position in your 11s, that's where he will get caught out. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. So I don't know. We're going to go to our 11s at the end, but someone to definitely be aware of, Chuck So Wavy, a man like Monroe. I'm going to quickly... I looked at some of Arteta's quotes as well. I want to get your initial reactions on what he was saying. God. The first one, as you can see coming up on your screen right now, is it going to be a distraction for the players? He's talking about, obviously, the protests, the Kroenke talk, all the stuff that's been going on this week, the Super League and whatnot. And Arteta said, referring to the Kroenkes, is I think that it's gone when they say what they said last night and show the commitment and desire to take the team where we all want. I think it's very clear where we are moving forward. So for me, and a lot of this press conference is him on the side of the Kroenkes, very much backing them up. Yeah, we speak. I have faith in them.
Bigger men have fallen on Kroenke's sword, you know. We've seen Arsene Wenger fall on that same sword. And some of the comments Arteta's made, including that one, you know, I think that it's gone. What's gone, Arteta? This problem we've had has gone way back, even when you was playing for us, before you was playing for us. Don't tell us it's gone. Don't jump into bed with them. That's essentially what a lot of these comments are telling me. You know, they're telling me that he's been briefed, he's been told, listen, we're going to need, you know, bottom-up support as well. They listen to you more than they're going to listen to us, and so on. It's all PR to me. I mean, I think that it is gone. What is gone, Arteta? And I think it's very clear where we are moving forward. It is not very clear at all. We are 10th in the league, Arteta. Mikel, don't do this. That gets me mad, you know, because it puts a new face to the problems. Because after these comments, we could discuss Arteta for hours. We could do a couple of videos on what he was saying today. It's not about him. So don't make it about you, Arteta. But he's a company man, isn't it? James,
I want to hear what you have to say, because you said something downstairs as well about this, that exact same thing of what he could have said something completely different.
I agree. I think he could have come out and just said, look, I'm obviously not involved in the ownership side of things. And we'd be like, cool, of course you're not. You're the first, you're the manager, that's fine. You could say, I don't know what's going on. The Kroenkes have put out their statement. As far as I'm aware, they're my bosses. They're the owners of this football club. They support me, and I carry on till told otherwise. Like, something like that. Just something very like, I'm here to work on the team. Whatever else is going on, but the Kroenkes have told me that they're staying. Like, he didn't need to do this whole, like, you know, it's very clear we're moving forward. No, it's not clear. We're moving backwards. Like,
that is clear.
Like, that is clear.
Yeah, that's more clear than going forward.
And I defend the guy a lot, but like, no, I can't really back him on this. Like, it's not clear we're moving forward. The very opposite is clear. You say it's clear you've been backed. What? Because they funded a Partey transfer once. Like, what are they getting so gassed up for? Like, do you know how much investment this team needs?
Exactly.
Do you know how far away we are? We're meant to get excited. Because like, the Partey thing, we got very excited, but that should be a staple for Arsenal Football Club. Going around the best clubs in Europe, Atletico Madrid, going, we're going to take your best central midfielder. But because we've had so little of that, it feels like luxury. And we're very fortunate that we can do that, but that should be just standard for a club like Arsenal. That's what Chelsea do, that's what Man City do. And I got to be honest, I'm frustrated with these comments, but then I got to remind myself that it's his boss.
Yeah, but
like, to a degree, I suppose he's going to try. But you could have throw support for them. But
could have said what you said though. You said, listen, they're the owners. Don't need to talk about that. I'm focusing on the team and getting the job done. And he speaks about he's in communication with them, but they built a whole Super League in secret, and none of the players and managers knew. Like, now you want to back him.
Yeah, well, listen, the way I look at it is I've been banging on about this cause for years, and Mikel Arteta right now, he's in a situation where, listen, our Arsenal fan base is quite unified for once. And if he actually came out and spoke some truth, or maybe avoided maybe jumping into bed, like James said, being a bit smarter with his words, because we all know how articulate Arteta is.
He's very good.
You know, we've given him credit and praise for a lot of his press conferences. I'm not about to take this out of context. He said what he said here. It's just, for me, if Mikel Arteta comes out and speaks a bit more truthful, if the backlash is a potential sacking, that opens up the problems even more. It opens up the cracks even more. What adds more fuel to this fire that's burning amongst the fan base? A manager coming out and actually being on our side, getting sacked, or, you know, getting into trouble with it. Like, you know, it kind of moves Arteta away from the problems. Instead, he's put himself right in the midst of it all.
Well, he didn't need to. Right, anyway, there was a lot on the Kroenkes and the fans in the press conference, but I wanted to focus obviously more on the Villarreal game. So the next quote was, what's your biggest worry about Villarreal? And Arteta says, in transition and in set pieces, they have very clear ideas, something that we kind of lack, and some great connections with the players. They have some fantastic individual players in the final third. They can decide the game at any time. Which is an interesting, for me, it's an interesting quote, saying they got individual players that can decide the game at any time. I mean,
for me, that's a cut, copy, paste. It just sounds like a very generic answer to the next team you're playing.
Except for one bit, the word in transition, and it goes back to the numbers. You know, I think that's going to be a case for both teams. It's kind of like, you lose it, oh no, here we go. And I think this could be a very open two-legged affair.
Exciting.
I actually do. Yeah, I think it will be exciting.
Like
I think the neutral enjoy it. But I mean, my one fear is that Emery will, to a degree, park the bus, because we've seen him do that. We've seen him just decide, right, sit back, let's respect the opposition. Almost as Arsenal manager, he respected the opposition too much. But the evidence of kind of the last 5 games, the goals they scored in Europe this season, I think this will be quite open, personally.
I see that.
Well, we had some good news.
The press conference wasn't all bad.
It wasn't all bad. There was some good stuff, and it started very, very positive with the team news. And as you can see here on your screens, Aubameyang is in contention, Lacazette, Tierney and Luiz. This is fantastic news that they're potentially going to be available for Thursday's game. So, I mean, I'm buzzing with this.
I want to start with Kieran Tierney because that just came out of nowhere. You know, is it a worry that it doesn't seem like they understand Tierney's injury? Because at the same time, you know, one week they're telling us these players are in contention. Next week, Tierney wasn't in that bunch last week. All of a sudden, he is. It just seems like to me they don't really understand maybe what's going on with Kieran Tierney. And
yeah,
it's a weird one.
It is a weird one. It poses loads of questions as well. Like Aubameyang, I don't believe he's going to be completely fit, especially coming back off malaria. I wouldn't even expect to see him.
So Ober or Laka, who are we going with?
I'm going to go with Laka.
Yeah.
That may get some people's backs up, but I think he'll have malaria to recover.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Lacazette's the man for the game. And would he drop in Nketiah?
Yeah. Drop him from where? Drop him from where at the moment? Let's be honest here.
I know, but he might be thinking, do you know what? Edin Nketiah saved us when we needed him. The only striker that was, well, it was obviously Balogun, but the only striker that was kind of available, unless you play Martinelli there, and he's played. Arteta might have already promised Nketiah that he was going to play on Thursday. As soon as Lacazette arrives, he's back from injury.
I think when you play your third, fourth choice striker at home and don't score a goal, I think it's not a case of will you be dropped. If the first two choice strikers are coming back, it's a case of know your place and take your place either on the bench or with Balogun signing a contract, potentially not even in the squad. You know, if you ask me which striker I'd like off the bench, obviously it'll be one of those two. I'd prefer Balogun to Eddie, I'll be honest with you. I think Eddie's time has come and gone at the club. He's had chances. Give him credit where it's due. You know, he has popped up with a few goals here and there, but in essence, we've got to move on.
He's clearly got a knack for scoring goals. I think he'll move in the summer and go. He'll find a good club, Championship or lower level Premier League, and he'll do well. I actually do. I think he'll do okay. But I don't think we're in a position where we can be patient with a striker right now. That's not his fault. But that's just where we are as a club. Like we don't have that time to be patient with a striker. We need someone who's going to score goals now.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Luiz starting?
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I didn't have any of these four in my starting 11, which we're going to do in a sec, because I'm very sceptical. You know, Tierney was meant to be 2-3 weeks away. He's back suddenly. Luiz, we weren't sure if he was going to be around for another. He was meant to do like a month and a bit out. Yeah. He's back suddenly. Lacazette, he only just went off with a hamstring. He was doing the whole, you know, the gesturing to say,
it's gone.
You know, Aubameyang's had malaria, bless him. Like, I'm not in a... This isn't like Odegaard where he injured his ankle, he played, then actually they decided he was injured a bit and now he's back. So you're like, okay, it was probably more precautionary. Yeah. These feel a little bit more serious. So none of them make my 11.
Are you hesitant about them being rushed here? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Not so much rushed, just...
So you're saying we don't need them?
Actually, I think that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're basically saying we don't need them.
Do you think we need to rush them, considering how important this game is?
No, because there's a second leg, and I think we should have enough quality anyway. We should. But big up Bruno.
Oh,
are you gonna? Well, after your Monroe, I didn't want to let you butcher.
I'm not going to say his last name, but obviously. Big up the physio, Bruno. You'll see him on your screen here. I'm not going to say his last name. I'll let James do that eloquently.
Well, the English would say Mazziotti, but I think it's Mazziotti.
The English might say Monroe, but I don't know, man.
The English might say Bruno Mars.
Now, hold on. That's not pronunciation. That's just a different person.
Yeah, just said, fuck it.
He's just gone, here we go. We're just going to go with it. Yeah, he's going to make up a name. So he was known as a bit of a miracle worker. He worked at PSG, worked at Brazil. Apparently he knew Edu. I think that's just rumours, maybe. Yeah. You know, he's got a really good reputation amongst Neymar, Thiago Silva, Dani Alves. A lot of the people who've worked with him. He's now come to Arsenal since we lost our physio to Liverpool. And I've got to say...
He looks scary.
Yeah, he looks a scary guy. I've got to say, the injury record for Arsenal this season, while we've had almost like in quantity a lot of injuries, I guess I wouldn't use the word quality, but the injuries haven't been, touch wood, so serious. Like Tierney has been out, it's never really been more than a month. Partey's had a lot of injuries, but it's been back within a couple of weeks, a month. Luiz as well. Like everyone's been kind of managed quite well, and they've come in at the right time, and then therefore been able to have a bit of a sustained period. Apart from Partey being rushed back once, I think we've dealt with injuries quite well this season.
It's because of Bruno. He would probably shout to the players like, "You're fit now." He's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm ready. I'm back. I'm back."
He just tells them you're fit.
I'm good.
Yeah. So no, big up him. He's clearly doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good news.
Yeah, very good news. So who starts?
I don't mind going first with my start.
Yeah, you go.
Let's go. Leno in goal. I know he made a mistake against Everton. But my thing is, listen, we don't have an adequate backup goalkeeper that fills me with hope or potential for me to say, listen, put him in there. Right. I think Ryan was brought in because he fell out of favour at Brighton. he was in his last 6 months of his contract. It just made sense at the time, especially when fans are calling for a new backup, considering Runnison's first couple of games at the club. So I think Leno in goal. Right back, listen, Chambers has done pretty well at right back, but I'm going to put Cedric back in there because I feel like Cedric's a more natural player there. He offers more going up, you know. Chambers does get up there, he does put in a lot of balls in, but I think Cedric's a bit smarter and a bit more technical with it. So I'd put Cedric in there. I'd put Tierney at left back. Now, I'm hesitant, like you said. I'd hope he's ready, but I just think the backup to Kieran Tierney is such a drop-off in quality and impact. I just feel like if Tierney's ready, put him in. Back two now, Luiz, listen, knee injury, he hasn't been around for the last however many weeks. I just feel like it's too soon for me to say put him in there. I'm just going to go with Holden and Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Holden and Gabriel, just because I think Holden and Mari are not the most mobile centre-backs. So I think Gabriel's a lot more mobile than those two. So if I was to play Mari, I might partner him with a Chambers who's more mobile. Yeah. But if I'm playing Gabriel, you might partner him with, you know me, I'd rather Mari and Gabriel to see what that's about, but it's just not happening.
Yeah, same.
So I'd go with Gabriel and Holden, Partey and Xhaka in front. Yes, I'm not Xhaka's biggest fan, but at the same time, people say he's important. Let's see how important he is. Semi-final against Villarreal, back into his favoured position next to Thomas Partey, who was meant to be the double pivot all season long. In front of them, I'm going Odegaard in the attacking mid number 10 position. I just think he offers something else, a bit more culture. On the ball, he just reminds me a bit of those players that it seems like they're moving slow, but they're not. They're just, they're slowing down the game around them because their vision, their quality on the ball. Odegaard just offers something different to Emile Smith-Rowe. Odegaard, Saka on the right, Pepe on the left. Attacking intent, punch for punch. Nice. I think in our side, there's no better than Pepe and Saka at the moment. And up front, Alex Lacazette. You know, that's my starting 11.
So you've gone for the assumption that obviously a lot of them are available. Rightly so. Arteta said they're in contention. I'm going on the assumption that they're not, for the reasons I mentioned before. So obviously Leno does keep his place, but let's buck up your ideas now. Come on. You made a great point the other day. If you're being peppered with shots, or not peppered with shots, but you know every save matters because we're always either drawing or 1-0 down, or only 1 up. I agree, there's a lot of pressure on him. So I do feel sorry for him. He's been a great keeper for us. I still believe there's a great keeper in there. But yeah, recent form's not been great, but he keeps his place. Cedric, Chambers at centre-back, Mari at centre-back, Saka at left-back for me.
That's a very good form.
I'm going for Partey and Xhaka in midfield. I'm then going for Pepe on the right, Odegaard in the 10, Smith-Rowe on the left, and Martinelli up front. So you can see I've just gone for the assumption that none of them are available or fit enough to start. Let's have them ready for the next game. But I wanted to go with Smith-Rowe, Odegaard in the team together. Pepe I think's done well recently. Martinelli leading the line, and Saka basically doing what Tierney would do, which is providing that width.
One thing I want to add to that is if the concerns are, you know, more in your way in terms of they're not available, I'd go completely with what you said there. I think if Tierney's not a left back, it's got to be Saka, considering Xhaka against Chukwueze or Chuck So Wavy.
Chuck So Wavy.
And Saka's having a little bit of a dip on the right wing. He's not doing, I mean, a great goal against Slavia Prague. He's still playing at a very high level. But I don't think with Pepe's form, I don't think we're at a point where if we took Saka out the right wing, it's a massive problem. I think he'll add more on the left than we are taking away from the right, if that makes sense. So
I'd go with yours if the injuries are
I agree with you. Okay, shall I butcher everyone's name? We've got Leno in goal for me, Soaz on the right. Soaz. No, joking. I've got Cedric on the right, playing right full back. I've got Holden and Mari, and I just think why not? I think they're very. They've had, yes, they didn't have a great game against Everton, but like we spoke before, it wasn't really their fault, the goal. Kind of look at Xhaka and Leno. So
they'll deal with Monroe quite well, I think.
I see you. And then I'll put Tierney back in. I believe, obviously, Arteta says he's in contention. I think we need him in there. We really do, especially against Chucks. I'm just going to say Chucks for now. Especially against him, Tierney's definitely...
not that hard.
That's not. Tierney, for me, there in that position. The two in the midfield, defensive midfield, Partey and Xhaka, same reason. From the exact same as you. Have been a critic of Xhaka, but those two together, it's a big game. We need big players, and everyone believes Xhaka is that big player. So alongside Partey, I think it'll be fine. Odegaard in the 10 in front of him. this is where it gets a bit techie. I've got Saka on the right, because I like how Cedric and him link up when they play together. They played really well together. We don't see enough of it. I don't know why Arteta hasn't repeated that partnership. So I want him on the right, and then on the left, here we go. I've got Martinelli in there. I haven't got Pepe yet. Here we go. And I understand.
That's all right. It's fine.
No, for you guys it is, but you know the agenda's coming out. If I'm honest, right, Pepe's actually in this Europa League campaign it's been the best. He has had the most goal contributions and had with goals as well. So I do believe in him, but I think he's so impactful off the bench that I think Martinelli should start and then bring him off the bench to make an impact, for my opinion. And up front, Lacazette. Yeah. I just don't think risking Aubameyang right now. Come back from malaria, he's not going to be fit. In my opinion, it's going to take a lot of time for him to get fully back to his fitness. I think Lacazette is a man that should be in place.
I think all of our lineups are filled with ifs and buts because obviously we don't know fully what's really going on.
So Arsenal don't tell us anything.
But bearing in mind, obviously we've made predictions on the Forever Arsenal podcast, but now we've got some team news in. I'm already going to change my prediction.
Okay.
I went 2-1 Villarreal on the podcast, but I'm going to change it to a 2-2. I think with a couple of those names back, including Kieran Tierney, I think there's more hope for me that we can take away something from that game.
Okay.
So I'm going 2-2.
Interesting. Well,
I went 1-1. I'm not going to change it. If I were, I'd probably actually only change it to 2-2. I think it'd still be a draw, just with more firepower. We'd attack more, but also be more open. Yeah. I would be surprised if we went and won, because Emery, I think, is pretty tactically astute and he'll tighten it up, I think. And there you go. I'm saying he'll tighten it up. It'll be an open game. But
this is his competition, though.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah.
I mean, when you showed his La Liga stat, in comparison to the Europa League run where they've scored about 20 plus, conceded 7, that's very different to when you're looking at shots conceded in
the league.
No, do you know what? I do think he'll take it to us. I'm still going to go with 1-1, but I do think he'll take it to us. There'll be moments where they sit back and try and prevent us from getting that away goal.
And you'd be happy with the 1-1?
To be honest, no. I want us to go win because I think we're good enough. We're better than them. We should go win this game. But no.
In the situation we're in,
I'd be fine with it.
2-2, 1-1. Cecil?
I don't know if I'm going mad. I'm going for 2-0 Arsenal. I want us to just get the job. I think I'm just being optimistic. I want them to get the job done.
Yeah.
I'm tired of.
Who doesn't?
I'm tired of this heart attack of just watching games and be like adding all this pressure for the fight for the second leg. So I'm gonna go confident. I'm gonna go a bit optimistic and just hope we just go out there, get it done.
I'd love to get the tie done in the first leg. I'd love to have nothing more to worry about this season but the Europa League final.
What constitutes done? 3-0?
3-0. Yeah, 3-0. But
I'd even say 2-0, 3-1 is very comfortable, and it would make me look at Thursday as not so much a cup final, but more go and get the job done.
Yeah, I hear that.
So I just want a bit of relaxation. But we've got all the predictions in: 2-2, 1-1, 2-0. Thanks, Dads, for coming on as usual. This has been the warm-up for the Villarreal game. I'll say it one more time. Another cup final, people. Let us know your thoughts, any questions in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Do all of that stuff, people. Love and peace.